Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Crew First Culture podcast. My name is Jeremy, and as always, I want to say thank you so very much for spending some of your valuable time here with me today. If you are new to the show, I want to say welcome, and hopefully, we can give you something to spur some conversation, to start some personal thoughts towards personal growth, just being better than you were yesterday. That's why we're here. So hopefully we could get something in that arena accomplished. I just listening back on kind of the first couple episodes. I've said it over and over again already, but I am definitely learning and have a lot to learn as far as this whole podcast thing goes. And anybody that's listened to the ones so far, I can't express to you how much I appreciate you doing that and appreciate your patience because I know it's a work in progress, and I keep saying I hope things get better, and I think they are, just as far as my comfort level talking and giving a little bit more energy, not being a monotone bore when I'm talking. So it's a work in progress. Like I said, I appreciate you. Just never been a upfront speaker, front of the line kind of person. So I can't even express to you how much this is outside of my box. So again, I'm trying to kind of get there, trying to learn how to be more outgoing, how to be more energetic. So I appreciate you. That being said, I definitely am gonna have to up my podcast game. Get myself some cool intro music or something. So we'll we'll play around with it. We'll keep learning and hopefully keep putting out something a little bit better every time. So that's kind of where I got to start off every time I feel like because we're working our way through this thing. I This podcast, just getting into it has been a very frustrating process. I wouldn't claim to be a technical expert, but I'm definitely not somebody that is just technologically ignorant either. And starting this whole process has made me feel that way for sure. There's so much to learn and so many different apps and programs and websites that you gotta kind of use and they all go together and you gotta make sure that you're sending it to all the right podcast places, and it's 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 been interesting. It's been very frustrating. So I I hope that we can work through it together and make it better. Basically, is kind of the end of that story. Really, why I'm here today with this show is kind of a few thought processes that I've been working through here lately and kind of came to a head, I guess you could say, yesterday with a conversation I had with one of the supervisors of my department. And that is just kind of what are we doing as supervisors to promote being open and honest with our people, with our crews. And there's a lot of areas and a lot of places you can take that. And I've in the last show I kind of talked about being more open and honest in your media posts, social media posts, as far as, it's good to post the motivational stuff and inspiring people, and that's so awesome. do that, to be that person that inspires somebody else. But it's also good to, to put some things out there, that lessons that you've learned or mistakes you've made, and how you've came back from it. And I think this kind of blends right into that and just continues that process. And the conversation that we had was, it was very good. It was a very good conversation, because I think that it's needed. And so this is kind of a rundown of the conversation. And of course, I'm not going to give any information on who it was with and particular details, but just to kind of paraphrase basically, so that kind of protects some of that. But you know this guy is a very caring guy. He You can tell that he cares about the fire service. He cares about the uh, the firefighters that he's basically leading, and most certainly he cares about the citizens. And this is somebody that he he puts a lot of his life into the service. And where he's at right now is just, it's a low point, I guess you could say, in his career, because of some of the things he's seen, some of the things he's dealt with. He's just in one of those low spots, and that has led to some a little bit of some burnout. It's led to frustration getting basically placed on other people, just because it's just coming out. And I think a lot of that has to do with what we talked about. And basically where I'm going with this is, he kind of made the statement that he's trying not to be too open about all this in front of the firefighters, the younger guys, or even the younger, as far as just time on guys, because he feels like, being a an officer, he needs to basically project a sense that he's in control of his feelings, or just that type of mentality. And I get it. I honestly, I understand what he's saying, but I wanted to make sure that I conveyed to him the importance of how wrong that whole mindset is. And it's not that he is a bad officer for doing that. It's just that I don't know that anybody's really ever had that discussion with him, of saying, that's understandable, but it's not giving you the outcomes that you really think it is. And so, I basically told him that, if we aren't honest and open about the feelings that we have, if we're not discussing with our people that we're supposed to be the closest with, our crew, if we're not talking about what we're having trouble with our crew, how can we expect them to come to us when they're having trouble? And that's kind of the base of it. And something else you can kind of piggyback on this is the whole mindset of, once you become an officer, you've got to separate yourself, and you can't be the buddy anymore, and you can't be the friend, and you can't have those relationships. And I think that is such bullcrap. I hate that mindset. It drives me crazy, because if I don't have that relationship with those people, how can any trust be built? How can any respect be built? It just doesn't work. I have worked with the officers that are standoffish, and they'll stay in their office all the time, and they kind of maintain the authoritative type mentality and stance over us, and I freaking hated it. I hated every minute of it. That was literally those people, those type of people were the officers on every crew that I have not enjoyed working for. And I believe that was the basis of those feelings every time. Having that type of boss just led to a just a not enjoyable time. Even though most of those crews, I had a good time with the actual, firefighters and below officer rank people. It was the officer and that mentality that really ruined everything. And I have learned a lot from that, from those situations. And getting back to the conversation, we I don't think this is the case with him, but we've got to take a step back from ourselves. We've got to stop taking ourselves so seriously. Like I said, I don't think this has anything to do with him and his particular situation, because I don't think he's this kind of guy. Uh, but I see so many officers, once they get that position, it's like no fun is to be had. We can't have fun anymore, because showing that you're having fun takes away from the credibility of the your ability to make good, solid choices. I honestly don't even understand the whole mindset of it. It goes along with the whole everything else I'm saying. I just don't get it. If we're here to serve our people and to build trust and build respect with everybody, because without those things, what are we? What good do we do on scene? If my guys don't trust me on scene, and again, I apologize. I use the word guys a lot just because I work with guys. If my crew members don't trust me on scene, everything is going to fall apart. If my crew members don't respect me on scene, everything is going to fall apart. I have got to have that respect. I've got to have that trust. And that doesn't come from me demanding it. It doesn't come from me sitting in my office while they're doing all the daily tasks. It doesn't come from me disappearing to my office as soon as dinner is done every night. That comes from me hanging out with my crew members as much as possible. That comes from me not only dishing out sarcasm and the little jabs back and forth towards my crew members, but that letting them do it to me, being the brunt of the joke. That's where that stuff is born. And also, just tying all this together, it comes from sitting at that dinner table, no matter what time of day it is, and having discussions about what's going on in everybody's lives. Having discussions of that last call that sucked. Having discussions of the calls that were years ago and maybe still kind of bring things up here and there. That is where the good crews are born, and that is where they are built. If we take the stance that we can't go to our crew members because we don't want to show weakness, because we don't want them to see us struggling with things, then what we're doing is we're creating an environment for people to harbor all of this stuff inside and keep it all inside. And we're creating an environment that is not conducive of being open. Because if I'm not open with Tom, how is Tom going to feel comfortable being open with me? How am I creating an environment that makes it easy for them to open up? So, like I said at first, I understand I understand if you've never been kind of told that it's okay to be open. If you're new to a to an officer role, or any kind of formal leadership role, and you've never really been taught what it looks like to truly be a part of the team, truly be somebody that is not just part of the team, but somebody that is building the team along with the others together. You don't see that. It's just like the saying goes, you don't know what you don't know. And so I think a lot of us out there need to hear this whole story, the whole mindset of you can't be a buddy, the whole mindset of you've got to separate yourself, the whole mindset of you can't be open about your struggles to the people below you. It's bull crap. It's total bull crap. You got you have got to see through all this. It is not the way a solid, close, tight-knit crew operates. It doesn't work. And I'm sorry. I know there are going to be a lot of people that don't believe that, and that's fine. Everybody has their styles. I hope that if you are somebody that that goes against what I'm saying, I hope that whatever you do, however you work things, however you lead people, I hope it works for you. And I hope that you figure out ways of opening lines of communication, maybe in other ways. I don't know. Maybe my mind just doesn't think that way. But to me, if I want to create an environment that allows people to have the safety and the comfort and the security of knowing that they can come to me anytime with anything that they're struggling with, or anybody else. If I want to create that, then I've got to be a part of that. I've got to be the driving force in that topic, in that arena. Because yeah, it can work, I guess, if the officer isn't involved. It can survive if if the firefighters have their tight knit group that they can behind the scenes talk, and that's good. I don't personally feel like I have to be involved in every conversation. I don't. If there are things that one or two people need to talk about behind the scenes, that's great. Whatever needs to be done to make the team better, to protect the firefighters and crew members, to help everybody stay healthy and grow and get better, that's fine. And that's even a good thing, because I want people to step up and be there for others. I don't want myself to be the only person, wanting to spend time and giving that to others. If that's going on behind the scenes, that's awesome. but I don't want to depend on that being the only way that discussions are had. I want to be the one to start some of that because I feel like it's my responsibility. I am put in charge of my crew's well-being, and that doesn't start and stop on the fire scene. That doesn't start and stop on the scene of an auto accident. We we like to focus on how dangerous our job is when things are on fire. We spend some time focusing on how dangerous our job is when we're at automobile accidents. And all of this is very true, obviously. That's very dangerous for us. Those are those are some of the most dangerous situations we'll face. But if you look at the numbers, there were literally twice as many firefighters die last year from suicide as there were from firefighters who died on duty. And as much as I want to run from that conversation, as much as I want to avoid it and just focus on the fun things that I can talk about and the fun things that I can help people with, that's something that we have got to take a look at. It's something that we have got to put some energy in. It's something we have got to devote time to fix. And that starts with conversations at the dinner table. That starts with conversations in the dorm room with, one-on-one when you see one of your crew members you're in charge of, or you see one of your crew members that you're on the same line with. Anybody that you see that you can tell something's going on. And so I just want to kind of get people to see that it's just like your family. You're with your family so much, you can tell when your wife or husband, when there's something off. And if you don't address that, if you avoid that, then you're not being helpful to anybody. If you see something that you think, man, they must be struggling with something, and you don't address that, then I don't understand how you can do that. And trust me, I am not the world's greatest dad. I'm not the world's greatest husband. I am a terrible communicator with my wife. It's probably the leading issue of the problems that we have leads to me and my conversation, or correction, my communication. And as I'm saying this, I'm sitting here basically getting onto myself. So that's basically when you hear me pause a little bit, it's not because I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. It's basically thinking I'm talking to myself, and I need to do better at home because I don't do as good of a job as I need to be doing, as I want to be doing. So uh, we've all got a lot to learn. We've all got a lot of areas to grow in. I've got to really be intentional about conversations that I'm having at home, conversations that I'm having at work. I need to do a better job, and that is just the absolute honest truth. Just going back to the conversation I had with the officer, yeah, we we do have a big responsibility to the people that we're overseeing, that we're leading, that we're in charge of. But we also can always learn from these people too, even if they're younger, there's always something to learn. And I just want to kind of try to talk everybody into keeping your eyes open. We can be so helpful. We can learn so much from each other. And something else that kind of struck me with this conversation is I'm I'm a I'm a part of two different departments. I've worked with a career department for 18 years almost, and I just recently, within the past month and a half, 2 month-ish, started volunteering with the small department that in the town I live in. And it's funny because there's issues both places. You have people that get all crappy at others for stupid stuff. And I've been a part of that in the past myself, and it is just dumb. It's like a bunch of women in a hair salon. You're spreading the rumors and giving your own personal opinions and all this and that, and none of it is helpful. And I just, as I was talking to him, seeing how emotional he was getting, just talking about how important it is for him to help the citizens and why he's really there, and feeling thoughts of being just burnt out, and he didn't want to feel that way, and I just, it made me think, why do we treat each other like this? Why do we take things that are so petty and so stupid and basically ruin relationships because of it? I just don't understand. And again, I have been a part of that. And I say I just don't understand, and I point that right at myself. I don't understand when I have been a part of those things, why I've allowed that. You know, we have got to look at each other as brothers and sisters and just human beings. We've got to treat each other respectfully. We've got to love each other enough to put stupid stuff behind us and know that each of us are there because we want to help people. Not only the citizens, but we want to help each other. We want to have a closeness. We want to have relationships. I mean, why else would we be doing it? Especially on the volunteer side. These people don't get paid to do it. They worked real jobs and then go there and spend their time away from their family to just to better themselves and to have a relationship with others that they wouldn't have, to help people. So we have got to start giving our buddies, our firefighters, our brothers and sisters leeway and be forgiving. If there has been situations that have happened that have caused bad feelings or hurt feelings or just whatever, we've got to learn how to get past this stuff. It's no different than a, a spouse that hurts your feelings or whatever. If we can't get past that, then that relationship is not going to make it. We have got to learn how to get past the little hiccups in life. And we've got to view these people as people that want good. They are there for good reasons. They want good things for everybody else. They're there for the right reasons. And if somebody proves you wrong in that area, then okay, it's okay to distance yourself from these people. It's okay to step back and say, I have honestly tried to make things better, you're not willing to get past that. So I'm going to have to just distance myself from that situation. Forgive them, don't hold grudges, but take a step back. You know, you it's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to take steps like that, to set boundaries. You know, I don't ever want to say that you have to put yourself in a bad spot because that's the right thing to do. No, the right thing to do is forgive them. The right thing to do is treat them respectfully. The right thing to do is be there for them if they're willing to get past whatever happened. But if you've done everything you can do and that situation is still toxic, and the other person is not allowing that growth and that movement away from the bad situation, then it's okay to take a step back from that. Don't let that one particular situation ruin other relationships, ruin, you know, departments or crews or whatever. So just just do the right thing, basically. You know, it's that's all it comes down to is do the right thing. We we are, as a general rule, firefighters are people that want to help, people that care. And so I just want to try to talk to anybody out there that's having some relationship issues with other members of the department. You know, just try to work it out. How can we get on scene of a life-threatening incident and trust that your buddy has your back when you can't even talk to them in the firehouse? So, you know, we've got to work these things out. We've got to get past issues that we have. It doesn't matter if we're officers, if we're firefighters, if we're chiefs. Take care of each other. Be there for each other. Show your weaknesses because everybody has them. And if you're not showing your weakness, nobody else is going to show you theirs. It's just human nature. If we want others to get things out, to keep them from getting in a bad place mentally, then we have got to open that door first. So really that's kind of the gist of what I kind of had on my mind. How it was a great conversation. I really learned a lot of just getting it out to him kind of helped me to learn some things for myself. And again, you know, if you're in a bad spot, please reach out. Find somebody to talk to. There's somebody there. You know, if if you don't think there is, maybe it's because nobody else has got the courage to do it themselves. Odds are there's somebody in your circle of influence, your circle of people that you work with and are on the department with that are dealing with something that they need to get out too. And so if that groundwork has never been put in place, if the dirty work of actually spending time talking and caring enough about others to just listen, if that's not been done, then that's probably why you don't know of anything. You don't know of others that are struggling. So maybe it's time for you to step up and be that person to open that door. Be that person to show courage to lay it all out. Show your weaknesses, show your struggles and see where it goes. You know, so I I really appreciate your time. Like always, if you have anything that you'd like to discuss with me, please reach out. You can direct message me on either Facebook or Instagram, Crew First Culture. If you're more of an email guy, you can reach me at crewfirstculture@yahoo.com. Again, that's just I really appreciate your time. I want to really just challenge you all to reach out. Anybody you see that seems to maybe be struggling with something, reach out, help them out. Just let them be a listening ear. If there's something that they need to get off their chest, take the time to care about them enough to do that. We are all in this thing together. We all need each other. So just take care of each other. I know that together we can make the fire service much better. And so let's focus on starting by taking care of each other. Until next time, I hope you have a great day, great week, however long it is, and stay safe out there and watch each other's back. Appreciate it.